our third commentary of the evening. Sit back and enjoy Celtic against Sturm Graz in the Europa League with Pat Bonner and Thomas Duncan.
Thank you, Kenny. Well, it was billed as a big week for Celtic Football Club. The first game of 3 did not go to plan at Dens Park. This is round 2 against the Austrian champion Sturm Graz, who have already dispatched one half of Glasgow in this Europa League campaign. They've won their last 4 games and 11 of 15 overall this season. They are a good side with internationals among them, but here at home Celtic will and should fancy themselves, especially if they can capture some of the form we saw last season, which just has not materialised in this campaign so far. Celtic Park not quite full but very packed. Still a very big crowd here to roar the team on at the start of this game, although the protests continue in the corner that houses the Green Brigade with a massive banner up saying "Sack the Boards." That will go on and on and on, and it is the job of Brendan Rodgers and the Celtic team now to try and put all of that rancour to the back of their minds and start anew here tonight against Sturm Graz with a massive game on Sunday at Tynecastle against league leaders Heart of Midlothian. First things first, they want to get their Europa League campaign going after a draw out in Belgrade against Red Star, which was creditable, but it was followed up by a limp home defeat by Sporting Braga. And Celtic with just a 1 goal in Europe this season, and it was that Kelechi Iheanacho strike in Belgrade. And they simply must add to that tonight as the players get ready to form their huddle. 2 changes for Celtic tonight from the team that started against Dundee. Ralston and Yang dropping out. The welcome return of Alistair Johnston at right back after he was injured here in the first leg against Caira. He's missed 10 games since, and he'll be a big presence on the right hand side. Benjamin Nygren will also play out there, we think, with Engels coming into midfield, and Yang, who was also hooked at half-time at Dens, among the substitutes tonight. So it's Schmeichel in goals, Johnston, Carter-Vickers, Scales and Tierney, McGregor, Engels and Hatate, Nygren, Tunekti and Iheanacho as the Celtic players break from the huddle. And it is loud at Celtic Park, and it was perhaps unexpected in terms of what we usually get here on a European night, but given everything that's been going on, I would have perhaps expected to see a more muted atmosphere, but it's not been the case here. Can Celtic channel that and give a much better account of themselves? It will be Sturm Graz all in black to kick off. Going to shoot from right to left as we sit in the main stand here at Celtic Park. Celtic in the green and white hoops, white shorts, white socks, and the referee is Juan Martín Munuera of Spain. He blows the whistle and we are underway as Celtic want a Matchday 3 of their Europa League campaign, and Tierney heads it out to Vensta Kisishvili, the Georgia international, the key man. Celtic win it in midfield and Carter-Vickers gives it to Johnson, who immediately drives forward and fires the pass down the right hand side, but Iheanacho is a long way from that as Lavallée, the Belgian centre back, comes across and lashes it into midfield. Good touches in there from Sturm Graz initially, but that pass evades Horvat and Tierney's onto it in the centre of the pitch and he lays it out to Tunekti. The Tunisian playing off the left hand side once more, comes in on the right foot, corner of the area, gives it to Hatate now. Hatate stabbed it through Engels, back to goal, heavy touch, and Sturm Graz can clear. Better from Celtic, getting it forward as that one is blocked and out for a Celtic throw midway through Sturm Graz territory.
Yeah, I'm just looking at Iheanacho. I think he's struggling a little bit. He's pointing over to the bench, and he didn't really close down. There was a ball played down the channel, and he never went after it, and he didn't close down. He's just looking over. I don't know what's going on here. I think he is struggling, and I think they're going to make a change early in this game.
Well, no doubt Maida, of course, because he's got stiffening in his lower back and hamstring, and obviously we know Celtic's forward troubles well documented with Ida departing for Swansea, so that really will be a unwelcome shift after only potentially a couple of minutes.
Well, it was his first run, wasn't it? You know, he's obviously he's definitely wanting to come off the pitch, and that is a major blow. And I'm looking at obviously the the bench also. It's only Johnny Kenny, the other striker. He's down now, Iheanacho, and he's off the pitch as far as I can see.
Yeah, he's down on the turf now, as Paki says, and the referee's asking for the Celtic physios to come on, so this is really not an ideal start. Kelechi Iheanacho, well, Celtic's joint second top scorer this season, only on 3 goals. Nygren on top of that list with 4, and he's down, and the physio's asking the question here, and it is Johnny Kenny, who is now stripped and ready. Came on at Dens Park at half-time.
You know, the ball was just played down the channel. He didn't really sprint after it. He definitely didn't close down the player who was in possession. And this is a major blow for Celtic because, listen, the big games are coming up also. He can't obviously take any part in this game tonight whatsoever. And then this game coming up at the weekend, and then you've got the cup final also, and midweek game against Falkirk. So these are enormous games, and now they're left. If he's injured and he's out for a period of time, whether it's a hamstring or something that's happened to him, and they've only left him with one striker. Maeda is also injured. Serious stuff. Well,
it will only draw further attention to the lack of forwards business in the transfer window, which, as I mentioned, just never goes away. And Johnny Kenny is on for Celtic after only 3 minutes at Celtic Park, and Kelechi Iheanacho shakes his head as he heads straight for the tunnel. A blow, a serious one, very early.
It does, but listen, it gives an opportunity for Johnny Kenny now. Young man, a little bit of lightweight at times at this level, but he's got a little bit of pace about him, and let's see what he can do. He's on for the full game in a European tie, and it's a big task for him.
Yeah, well, he enjoyed the Conference League last season for Shamrock. He was one of the top scorers in the league phase for them. He was on fire. This is an altogether different pressure leading the line for Celtic, as Matteo Vignetti, the goalkeeper for Sturm Graz, second choice goalkeeper, the 21-year-old Austrian, in for Christensen, who was injured at the weekend. Can Celtic test him? Sturm Graz coming up the left-hand side, and it's played out by Engels for a throw into Sturm. Kitishvili takes it to Chukwani, back to Kitishvili, who runs into traffic. McGregor gets a really good challenge in. The Celtic captain, he's driving up to halfway, and then he's looking for the pass to Kenny, and he's just about found it, but it's a good recovery from Lavallee to get a toe on it, but Kenny's battled well. Now he's trying to hold off the defender to get the corner they thought he was going to get, but the linesman on this near side signals for a goal kick, much to the Irishman's frustration. Yeah, but he was tenacious there. He got himself between the player and the ball. He thought the player could have touched him, that he could have held on to it and tried to win his corner, but obviously the referees and the assistant, I think, made the decision here that he got the last touch. Kitishvili, first touch around the corner, gets it back, and it's going to be a free kick to Sturm just inside their own half, but Kitishvili really does make them tick. 8 goals in 11 appearances this season, and he just gets involved in so much. Little 1-2s round the corner, and as I just touched on, he's a goal threat as well. Scored late goals in their last 2 league games and against Rangers, so 3 in a row all told now for Otar Kitishvili. Yeah, he's a comfortable player on the ball, isn't he? You know, and he plays in that number 10 position, which gives him freedom to find little pockets of space, and if he can be picked out, then it becomes dangerous. Throw back from Johnson to Carter Vickers, who goes to Schmeichel. Schmeichel fires it out to Liam Scales in his own penalty area, out to Tierney at left back. First time up to Engels, controls on the chest, and he's done well. It was Kenny, I beg your pardon, into the Engels with a chested pass, and Engels draws the foul and gets the free kick, and a bit of shoving there from Engels on Kitishvili, and the referee just calming things down. Goalless after 6 minutes between Celtic and Sturm Graz, but Celtic, if you're just joining us live on Sports Sound on BBC Sounds and BBC Radio Scotland, Celtic forced into an early change up front. Iheanacho forced off with an injury in the opening 3 minutes, and Johnny Kenny is on. Yeah, I just wonder how much that will upset their kind of rhythm and plans that they maybe had before the game. I think set pieces probably will come into that equation, and whether he has a key role to play, Johnny Kenny will have to take it up and be comfortable when he's out there now to take on the responsibility. And that was a stray one from Alistair Johnson, gives the throw into Sturm Graz, and now they go back to their goalkeeper Matteo Vignetti, who goes long with the right boot on top of Liam Scales, and Celtic did not deal with that long ball at all at the weekend from Dundee. They've done so this time. Dundee went really direct and caused all sorts of problems in the Celtic back line.
Yeah, the other problem with the way Sully played, they play with one holding midfield player, and that's Callum McGregor, who isn't the biggest. So the two centre halves will always be under that pressure, and you need other people then to support them.
Liam Scales out to Tierney on the left hand side, slides it up the line for Tenecti, midway up Sturm's half, and he goes back to Carter Vickers. Sturm Graz also victims in Champions League qualification, humbled by Bodo Glimt, beaten 5-0 out in Norway in the playoff rounds. They won the return 2-1, but it was far too little too late. Celtic coming forward, McGregor, Hatate, first time in here, chance, and a little challenge as Tenecti looked to pull the trigger on the edge of the box, but a good tackle from Sturm, who are now countering through the Slovenian Horvat. His little reverse pass is poor, and Tierney picks up. Tierney over halfway. Tierney out to the left hand side.
Yeah, I think Tenecti just took an extra touch, didn't he? Or I think he could have pulled the trigger a little bit quicker when he came on the inside. Yeah,
that is often his sin. Sebastian Tenecti just overplays at times, despite being a real threat for Celtic when he has the ball. And there's a corner won here by Alistair Johnston, and they go quickly through Nygren to McGregor. Back to Nygren on the touchline, into Engels, little back heel flick.
I don't understand that corner whatsoever. They've got a young goalkeeper who hasn't played that many games, and he'd take a shot when there was about 5 or 6 bodies all in an area to defend it.
Johnston now into Hatate, who leaves it for nobody, and now Sturm Graz countering through Horvat into Malone. The German centre forward has to run back over halfway and offloads it eventually to Tim Uhrmann, the Germany under-21 international on loan from Bayer Leverkusen. He is really a centre back, but with an injury to Malic, who is back among the subs tonight for Sturm Graz. He's been deputising out there for the Austrians. There's Chukwani to Stankovic, and back to Iwu, and then back to Vignetti. Celtic, they did that all game against Dundee, which I suppose you can understand in that situation, because Dundee had 3 centre backs and big centre backs in the box, and they went short with their corners nearly every time.
Just test the young goalkeeper to see what he's made of. Will he be comfortable under a little bit of pressure?
Here's Karic, slides it in behind for Malone, who's going to get there on the left hand side of the box. Malone takes it out the area towards the touchline. Malone back to Karic, the left back, then Chukwani. Oh, it's a lovely pass for Karic. It's well covered by Callum McGregor, and the challenge, he's kept it in as well as Celtic captain, and away from Karic, and then into Kasper Schmeichel. That was impressive stuff from Callum McGregor to mop up there with Sturm Graz threatening down Celtic's right hand side. It remains 0-0 after 9.5 minutes.
Yeah, listen, what Celtic can't afford is that Sturm Graz, who've started off fairly passively in this game so far, but to grow in confidence and get plenty of possession.
It's nodded by Karic into Kitashvili, and he's offloaded it to Roscoe. He tries to go around Carter Vickers, he's done it, but there's a excellently timed challenge at the last minute from Johnston to knock it back to Schmeichel, and now Johnston's trying to play out from his own touchline. He was put in bother there by the pass from Nygren, and then Sturm Graz have won the throw, and they take it quickly. It goes into the edge of the box. Chukwani touched away for Horvat, left hand side of the area, low cross blocked by Engels, still in play. Sturm Graz still with the ball. Karic, low pass, then Kitashvili curls one, but it's well off target. But Sturm Graz just showing they can get quick passes in and around the Celtic box.
Yeah, good combination of passes, nice and sharp, and getting people into good positions.
Here comes Tierney though for Celtic, gives it out to Tenecti on the left touchline. Here he comes inside, slides it to Hatate, little touch, but he just allows Stankovic to step in and win it, and then Hatate fouls the Slovenian and the Sturm Graz captain on the edge of his own box, and it is a free kick.
Yeah, and listen, it was a good pass from Tenecti into Hatate's feet. I don't know what he was trying to do, coming back on the inside. I think he could have went to the byline and even cut it back, but it was a wrong decision again. And I think that's been a feature of Celtic's games so far. They're getting to get into decent positions, but either it's a poor execution or it's a wrong decision.
Yeah, the manager was crystal clear about that in the aftermath of Dens Park, as Moses Malone is flagged offside. But this is really feels like a must-win game for Celtic. Brendan Rodgers said it was yesterday, because you really probably need 11 points. Last season, the Europa League table, you needed 11 points to be guaranteed to go through. into the next round, and 10 was good enough for a few, but some missed out with 10 on goal difference. So
it's a must-win in many ways. Also, they've a big game coming up at the weekend. They've got a cup final coming up. Also, they've got to get the confidence booster out of this particular one, and create chances, but score a couple of goals and win the game, and that will maybe change a lot of things for them.
Yeah, 10 points was enough for 3 of the 5 teams who ended up on it, as Callum McGregor goes down and gets a free kick. A valuable one for Celtic, bang in the middle of Sturm Graz's half. We'll see if he can make much of this set-piece goalless after 12 minutes at Celtic Park. Arne Engels now gives it to Nygren on the right-hand side. Nygren, step over and back to Engels. Engels looking for the pass for Hatate, but given away. And now Sturm carry through Malone, and a pass for Kitishvili, and there was hesitation from Carter Vickers there. It allows the Georgian in, and he's returned it to Malone, edge of the box. Scales is with him, little reverse for Rosca, and McGregor again is back to cover for Celtic.
That hesitation again, that's a lack of confidence for me.
Oh, and it's won by Johnny Kenny here off Lavallee. He's in the angle of the box. Johnny Kenny, no support, and he's just drilled it past the far post. Unlucky from the Celtic replacement.
Oh my word, that was just inches by the right hand post, coming in on an angle on this right hand side, and he just drills it across the goalkeeper. Really good initially, closing down and winning the ball, and then just driving it. It was a difficult angle for him. He had to take it on, he had no support whatsoever, and he just drilled it across the goalkeeper. The right thing to do, just failed to hit the side netting inside the post, just drifts wide.
Yeah, he had no other option. Johnny Kenny, 22-year-old Irishman, did so well to win it. And Brendan Rodgers will love that. The pressing from the front, winning the ball. Just brought the stadium to life.
Yeah, I agree, Thomas. That's one of the big aspects of Celtic's play. That pressing, and then the counter pressing when they lose the ball quickly, and all of that. And that again is mentality. That's hard work, and players putting themselves on a limit where they're working really, really hard.
Here's Chukwani for Sturm Graz in his own half, and then goes back to come forward. A lovely touch from Rosgar in the corner to Karic. Infield ball to Kitishvili, swivels round and again, and then slides it back out to Karic. Nygren has to come across. Karic doesn't deliver the cross, goes back to Chukwani. Chukwani to Kitishvili, tried to thread the pass in for Rosgar, but it's too far in front of him, and Schmeichel smothers it, and it's now with Tierney. Celtic looking to play at pace. Tenekte again, poor touch, and here comes Sturm. Kitishvili to Rosca, returns it to Tommy Horvath. He's going to strike from distance. Oh, what a goal! Oh, it's an absolute screamer from Tommy Horvath, and the 2,500 Sturm fans in the corner of Celtic Park go absolutely wild for that one. That was an absolute belter, and it is Celtic 0, Sturm Graz 1.
Oh, what a strike. Magnificent strike, I've got to say. And again, it was Tierney, picks up really good possession down the left hand side from a quick kick out, can almost volley from Schmeichel, but he takes the wrong option. He passes the ball inside when he could have easily passed the ball to Hatate and changed the game or linked the game up wrong, and then suddenly he's got out of position. Players are all over the place then, and I'm not sure, was it Horvath that scored, or was it the young man that has just come on the pitch? If it's Horvath, it was a magnificent strike, I've got to say. I'm just looking at the goalkeeper also a little bit, and I know it's way up the top corner, but I'm trying to see what kind of feet movement that he had. Did he take off properly, or was he caught a little bit unawares? But what a strike it was, I've got to say.
Tommy Horvath scored the opener against Rangers in Graz at the start of the month. He scored the opener against Celtic here in Glasgow, and it was a screamer right into the top corner, and Celtic are going to have to come from behind in the Europa League on Matchday 3.
Well, it shows you at this level, listen, teams are capable, players are capable of doing that, and at this level, and you cannot make that simple mistake that Kieran Tierney, for me, made.
Better play from Celtic in midfield, and Engels returns it to Hatate. Now it's out to Nygren. Nygren curls the ball into the box. Lavallee heads it behind for the Celtic corner. fans doing their best to rouse the players on the pitch and get behind them as they trail by a 0-0. Sturm Graz couldn't have dreamt of a better start, and it was a simply stunning strike. Can Celtic respond here with a corner? Engels delivers with a right foot near post, header down from Scales, and that was blocked. And there's a little appeal there for perhaps a handball. Nothing given on the pitch, and it will be a Celtic throw on this near side.
They're checking it, are they? No.
Yeah, the referee's asking them, Nygren, to wait, so now it's play on. So quick check, and the officials are happy with it. As better delivery, or they actually chose to deliver it this time into the box, Celtic. As McGregor has it, rolls it with the studs, gives it to Johnston. Johnston drives past Rojka and does well, and then slides it past into the box. Nygren going to get out of his feet. Space closed down. Tierney on the edge. Tunekti now in the area. Sebastian Tunekti forced outside the box, and now the chance is almost gone. Recycled to Tierney. Tierney driving to the byline. Stands it up into the box. Header over the top from Benjamin Nygren. Better play from Celtic. Eventually the chance comes, but Nygren can only head it over the top.
Yeah, good reaction from Celtic to try to claw him way back into this game with a quick reply. Tierney has putting it up to that back post. Nygren just couldn't get up to get any direction on it. It was just a weak header at the end, just over the crossbar. I think it was Tierney that had an opportunity just before that anyway, on the edge of the box, to maybe have a strike, and he hesitated a little bit, but kept it alive.
Yeah, the Celtic fans were screaming for them to just shoot someone. Nygren, it looked like he got it out his feet initially before the header. The initial chance with the pass from Johnston into the box, but just couldn't get it in a position where he could unleash the shot from the angle. Here is Alistair Johnston, and its pass is slightly under hit, but Celtic eventually profit with a throw in. Johnston flings it to Engels. Chikwani with a little nudge and wins the ball. Kitishvili leaves it for Stankovic, and Carter Vickers, good strength up against Malone, who's a big powerful centre forwards. Let it run for the throw in. Now it's Liam Scales. Scales into the centre circle for Celtic. Tierney.
That's what I mean about that ball. It's a ball. It's a nothing ball because it's a square pass. They end up having to come back again, all the way back to the goal. It keeps possession, but I think that was very different before.
Tunekti takes the ball out the sky from Schmeichel, and then sends to McGregor on the halfway line. McGregor along the deck to Tierney. Tierney down the outside for Tunekti. Tunekti tries to shift it back onto the right foot, but he tangles with the defender, and eventually Iwu is fouled by Tunekti, and it is a Sturm Graz free kick on the far side. That
was a better ball again, Tierney this time, because he's high up the pitch, and that ball can be driven into his feet, and then they're at least advanced maybe 20-30 yards further up the pitch and get a bit of movement. I don't like to see that square pass from centre half just to a full-back. It's doing nothing for you.
20 minutes played. It is Celtic 0, Sturm Graz 1. Tommy Horvat's sensational strike from distance separates the teams in what has otherwise been an even game, as Engels slides in. Sturm Graz get the throw in the Celtic half, and Sturm with a 4-3 win over Blau-Weiß Linz at the weekend to stay too clear at the summit of the Bundesliga in Austria, ahead of RB Salzburg, who they've pipped to the title in the last 2 seasons, ending a decade of dominance from the Red Bull-owned club. Celtic free kick just short of halfway. Nygren barged to the ground. Johnston goes back to Carter Vickers. Carter Vickers for Scales, and the two of them had plenty of touches against Dundee on Sunday. Loads of them in the Dundee half as well, but Celtic could find no way through, and that's a wild pass back to Carter Vickers there, who had a tough time controlling it, and Brendan Rodgers not happy with that one on the edge of his technical area.
Yeah, it just slows the game down, doesn't it?
And a big switch from Carter Vickers, and Tierney's found good space and a good touch with the chest, and then he gives it to Tunekti. Low cross block behind for a corner on the far side.
That's where you want to see Kieran Tierney, outside left. Tunekti coming on the inside, creating the space for him, and then that drilled ball. There's a ball
cross from Engels, and it's headed away by Chikwani, and Celtic come again down the far side. McGregor McGregor's pass is blocked, and then Kitasvili, Engels has won it back. Hatate, back to Callum McGregor, wide of the goal, and it's Engels, touch, gets the shot away, scuffed it, deflected, and it just drops wide of the right-hand post. Not far away from a Celtic equaliser. It wasn't a great shot from Engels, but the deflection almost took it past Vignetti.
No, it was a mishit. It was a mishit, actually, and it put the goalkeeper, that deflection, the goalkeeper's going the wrong way, and again, when your luck's out, and it just goes agonisingly past the right-hand post.
On Engels, that was just a touch and a strike of a player. It's just such low confidence. You saw him last season, the Belgian. Scored once and got 3 assists in the Champions League in his 10 appearances. In tonight from the start for Celtic. Corner on the far side. It's a good delivery, and it's Stankovic who heads it away. Hatate kind of meekly sends it back towards the box with his header, but it drops for a Sturm Graz player. Leathers it down the pitch. Only Alistair Johnson's back. He's got Roscoe on him. Back to Schmeichel, who just squeezes it away to Callum McGregor. Now it's Rio Hatate halfway, but he turns back and goes all the way back to Alistair Johnson. There was space in front, and you can hear what the Celtic crowd think of that. And now Alistair Johnson's gone down. His first game back after 10 out with a hamstring issue. They've already lost Kelechi Iheanacho to what looked like a muscle injury in the first few minutes.
He's off too. He's off. Hamstring's gone again.
And that
was he rushed back too early would be now the question asked.
He's got his hands on his face, Alistair Johnson, and he's distraught. And just everything that could go wrong for Celtic at the moment is going wrong. He's done.
Yeah, incredibly. But Hatate shouldn't have passed it back to him. I know he's probably done maybe before that, but Hatate had the opportunity to go forward. That got the crowd really frustrated.
Celtic have lost 2 players in the opening 23 minutes to injury.
Hamstrings.
And both, muscle injuries. And are going to have to wait to make the sub as well. We're on now. It'll be Donovan or Ralston coming on. Hatate to Scales to Hatate, and then Carter Vickers. It's going to be Donovan, as Carter Vickers has it at the edge of the centre circle. Scales fizzes it down the left. Flick from Tinecti for Tierney, who's managed to cling onto it. No space, and then his pass doesn't reach Hatate, but he manages to recover. Tierney goes to Carter Vickers. Donovan is stripped and ready, getting his last few instructions from Brendan Rodgers. And Celtic 1-0 down, and already lost 2 players to the treatment table as Johnny Kenny runs him. I know he's brought it down. His touch just too heavy, and it goes through to Vignetti, the goalkeeper.
If he got any sort of touch at all in that, it was a really good ball over the top, and it shows you Johnny Kenny has the pace to get in behind and is coming down. Yes, it would have been sensational if he could get a touch and just knock it past the goalkeeper. Just the touch failed him though.
Donovan's still not on the pitch yet, so Celtic down to 10 as Iwu, the centre back, plays it out to Urman, the right back for Sturm Graz, who lead by a goal to 0. It's Stankovic, now Chukwani, back to Stankovic. Sturm not in a rush to go anywhere as they go back to Iwu, and it's played forward. Tierney up to Tinecti, and Donovan's ready to come on, and Celtic just need to take it out, but Stankovic eventually does it for them.
Just again, manage the game, just knock it out and get your player on. Now you're back 11v11 at least, and then you can start again.
Colby Donovan is on. Missed the Motherwell game here before the international break, and then was unused at Dens on Sunday. Had made a good start to the season, his breakthrough campaign, and he's on now at right back for Celtic. And the worrying thing is Alistair Johnson missed 10 games. How many more might he miss now with so many big fixtures coming up? Horvat to Rosca, a little flick. Sturm Graz playing with confidence, but goes through to Celtic, and Schmeichel, there's that first time with the right foot. I thought he would have just used his hands there.
No, I think it would have been a pass back.
Yeah, it must have been.
It would have been a pass back, deemed a pass back. So he had a volley that has bounced up high up around his sort of chest and just waiting for it to come down, and made good contact.
And Carter Vickers is going to be penalised here as Malone goes down. I think it was the other way round actually. Malone's gone down in the heat, but it's Celtic who get the free kick in the centre circle. They need to try and mount a response, Celtic.
Yeah, they've got to dig really deep here today. You know, they've lost 2 players, a goal down. Haven't played that badly, I've got to say. The goal itself was something a sensational strike, but they've just got to, in around the edge of the box, they've been sort of hesitant. You know, we've seen Celtic players, when they get into that position, just hit that target, but they've been hesitant to get a strike away. Then it's a second touch, and just the momentum then is gone, and that gets the crowd frustrated also at times.
Yeah, well documented struggles in front of goal this season. Failed to score in 6 of their 14 matches before tonight. They only failed to score in 5 of 57 last season.
Yeah, and the contribution for goals came from all over the pitch. That's the other situation.
As Donovan's header, foul on Kenny in the Celtic half. Well, you look at the goals from last season. Maida 33, Kuhn 21, Ida 20, Kyogo 12, Hatate 11, even McGregor and Engels got into double figures with 10. And that productivity very much absent, easy for me to say, this season, as Scales goes back to Schmeichel to Carter Vickers. Carter Vickers over halfway to Donovan, touch inside, away from Rojka, and then back to Carter Vickers. And the stadium was very much with Celtic, even when they went 1-0 down, but they need to try and inspire these supporters here tonight, as Tunekti jinks away from one and then gives it to Tierney. He's made a good run. Tierney with a high cross, too high. Nygren goes after it, keeps it in on this near side. His first time pass is not a great one for Donovan. It hits off the defender. Karic out for a Celtic throw.
Yeah, he's using his left foot, isn't he? You know, he's coming trying to pass a ball through the player, and he could just take it on his right foot, slide it down the side of him.
Engels out muscled by Chukwueze, and Sturm Graz play out quite nicely before Malone is under pressure from Scales, plays the ball out, and it is Carter Vickers receiving the throw in. Back to Schmeichel to Carter Vickers. We brought you 2 live commentaries earlier, although if you're a Scottish football fan in general, you might not have wanted to listen to them, given Rangers went down 3-0 in Bergen and Aberdeen were thumped 6-0 in Athens. A record defeat for the Dons. Celtic trailing by a goal to 0 here in the first half as we approach the half-hour mark. Sturm Graz throw just on halfway, goes back to Lavallee, a former teammate of Nico Raskin at Standard Liège, the Belgian. Vignetti to Lavallee back to Vignetti, and Sturm Graz, although they only have a 1-goal advantage, they don't need to force anything.
Yeah, you're right, Thomas. They're just taking the heat out of it, just keeping the ball at the back a little bit.
Lavallee plays it down the line, and Karic is in so much space, the left back, collects it on the byline, slides it back, Kitis-Vili clatters the post. It should have been 2-0 to Sturm Graz. One simple ball down the left, cut back, and Kitis-Vili has his hands on his head because he feels he should have scored.
Wow, the space that was allowed to I'm just looking at it from Karic, I think, is it, that got into that position, the left back, but nobody picking him up, and he had all the space in the world to drive to the byline and cut that ball back for Kitis-Vili, and he should have, well, he did well. He curled it around I don't know who was approaching him, one of the centre backs, around everybody, just hit the outside of the post, so it could have been easily 2-0 down.
Yeah, I'm being harsh on him, perhaps, and he should have scored that. He did well to force it towards the target. But Celtic now, pass down the outside for Tierney, low cross, cut out at the near post by Iwu, back to Tierney, and there's Engels with a header, cleared off the line by Iwu. Celtic so close, ball still alive. Tunekti, no space for the shot, lays it back to Hatate. Now Tierney goes down the outside, low cross, Kenny, and the challenge comes in from Iwu, and Sturm Graz are able to clear. Oh, chance there. It's good defending in the end from Iwo to clear it off the line.
Yeah, he got himself back into a good position. But again, another big chance. 7-8 yards out. Was hung up there just to get enough power and it maybe try to get a top corner, but he's headed it back down to where it came from, and he got back on the line to clear. But again, for Celtic, just can't get a ball in the back of the net.
The positive is that they weren't really creating as many chances like this on Sunday at Dens Park. He obviously sitting a lot deeper than Sturm Graz are tonight, but Engels has popped up in the box a couple of times, just hasn't had the conviction or the confidence really to take it on. Although he did what he needed to there, really steered the header down and on target. Iwo read it and made the crucial block to keep Sturm Graz 1-0 in front. Hatate crowded out, and now Stankovic has it, lifts it over the top, but Carter Vickers chests it and gives it to Donovan, who plays it down the line. Kenny will chase Lavallee to Karic and then into Iwo, who goes long, but it's too long and through to Schmeichel.
Kenny just caught on his heels a little bit. He should be running that channel. As soon as that ball dropped to Donovan, he knew that the only option he had was down the channel, and he was caught on his heels.
Scales square for Carter Vickers. Donovan, good pass for Engels. Lavallee was sharp, came across to cover. Engels putting the pressure on. Nygren with the challenge, and that is Sturm Graz throw. Celtic fans disagree.
Yeah, I thought it was actually a throw in the Celtic on that occasion. I thought the assistant got it wrong.
Yeah, and Celtic have played better tonight than we saw at the weekends, but still they trail, and still they are unable to score, and they're not going to score with passes like that down the right hand side. Although I have to say Donovan has had a couple of good passes since he's come on inside. That one just poor and straight out for a goal kick to Sturm.
Yeah, well, Nygren is playing an inside right position today. You're obviously playing with a winger over on the left hand side. Took him Nekti over on the left hand side. He's going to Nygren's playing more as an inside sort of kind of right position.
Chukwani blocked by Engels, breaks for Rozga, and it's good intervention there from young Kobe Donovan to get his body between the player and the ball, and it's now back with Schmeichel and then Scales and out to Tierney. Completed 90 minutes for the second time this season at the weekend. Scales to Tierney, now it's to Nekti, nowhere to go, and he chips it back into the centre circle for Carter Vickers. Now it's Callum McGregor, fizzes it to Donovan. Donovan has Nygren outside him, he goes inside with a run, back out to Nygren. Rozga read it and uses his strength to earn the goal kick for Sturm Graz, and then G's up the fans in that corner in front of him.
Yeah, intelligent play from the young 19-year-old, just in the team tonight, just using his body, using his strength. He's not the biggest guy in the world, but able to hold off Nygren to allow his team to get a goal kick. It's taken long.
Very long. Carter Vickers is underneath it though. It's back to header with McGregor, who's out-muscled. And now it's with Sturm Graz. Rozga, left-hand side, inside the Celtic half, up to Malone. Good strength from Carter Vickers, clears it, and there's a foul in there. Free kick Sturm Graz, a couple of yards in from the touchline. And there's Rozga who was fouled. Celtic, just this place, just gone a bit more quiet and subdued than it was at the start.
Yeah, I'm just looking around the group of players, and I'm thinking to myself, who's the one now that is the real special one that could go and do something a little bit out of extraordinary to put Celtic back in this game? It's all very similar.
Horvat with a deep free kick, curls to the back post. Stankovic goes up, header, and then it's right on the goal line. It drops and it's over the top. What a miss from Iwo. Well, he was the hero up the other end with a goal line block. It falls to him, edge of the 6-yard box, goal at his mercy, and he leans back and puts it over the top.
Oh, what a... I don't know what's going on here. Why is he slowing it down? What's he stopping? Is he waiting for...
I don't know if
just
he didn't
get on with the game.
Yeah, I don't know what that was about. Over officious from the referee there.
Yeah, but what a chance! What a chance for you. Just drops him in the 6-yard box after Celtic failed to clear their lines, and he just volleys it over the crossbar from almost point blank range, 6 yards out.
Celtic have had chances to equalise, but Sturm have hit the post and now had that chance. Tierney, left hand side of the box, blocked by Urman. Back to Tierney. Tierney trying to get back on that left foot, goes with the right foot. He's got Horvat now in front of him, offloads it to Hatate. Hatate back to Scales. Scales to Hatate, back to Scales, and then Carter Vickers. And Carter Vickers is going to go back to Scales. And Celtic move towards the left. McGregor, lovely pass for Tenekti. Tenekti inside, cut back and cleared. Well cleared in the end by Karic after Celtic pulled it back. There's no one in a green-white hoops there anyway, as Hatate tries to get on the end of the throw-in at the byline, back heel flick, and then Kitis-Vili's back there trying to do the defensive work. He's done brilliantly to prevent the corner and clear it up the touchline.
Yeah, listen, he's really getting into a great position again. Just needs to pick his head up and see where players are. Just it's a blind pass, and there was no takers for Celtic.
Nygren is bundled over by Karic. Free kick to Celtic, 10 yards into the Sturm half. McGregor to Scales. Scales curls it into Tenekti's path. Touch up against Urman. Tenekti goes inside there. Now he's done brilliantly. Tenekti flashes the ball across, and it's come all the way through and out for a throw-in on this near side.
Again, the final execution does everything right down that left-hand side. A little bit of trickery to go past the defender, and then just fends across, smashes across almost the 6-yard box, and nobody there.
Yeah, it's begging for a big centre forward to get in and head that. Don't know if it might have been too high, in fairness. And McGregor sliding challenge is taking a deflection, and it's away down the side, and Scales has come across to make the strong challenge on Malone, and it's going to be a Sturm Graz throw-in. It was too easy for the Austrians to get up the pitch, and they lead by a goal to nil. Horvat's goal is the difference after 15 minutes, and it is Karic with a throw-in. He's waiting on his options. The referee blows the whistle. Karic throws it into the area, flicked on by Sturm. Hatate clears, and it drops to him, hit off a Sturm Graz player, and it's off a hand, so it's a Celtic free kick in their own box.
Yeah, listen, it's 39 minutes gone. Vital that Celtic try to get something before half-time, but it's just back into this game.
Tenekti carries it down the far side. Comes in field, and he's picked out Hatate. Hatate pulls it back, Nygren, and he heads it wide. Gilt-edged opportunity for the Swedes. He's steered a header wide of the post, and it remains Celtic 0, Sturm Graz 1.
Yeah, it was a brilliant ball from, I think it was Tierney, into Hatate, who controls it and just lays it on a plate for Nygren, just attacking the ball, perfect height, and he goes and he heads it, and it comes off the side of his head and goes by the left-hand post, well wide of the left-hand post. Gilt-edged chance for Celtic to get back in this game just before half-time.
From our angle, I wondered if it was just going to drop in that bottom corner, just nestle in the side netting, but it did not. And that is a huge chance for Celtic, as that looked like a slip there. The referee has blown the whistle. It looked like he slipped before Engels made contact.
Yeah, I think he did he stand in the ball, or did he slip? Absolutely, it wasn't a free kick. It looked like a free kick, from where, but when you look at it from, he's up close, the referee, to it, and he should be able to see what happened.
Yeah, Engels was going to make the challenge. Iwu slipped, and then obviously Engels made contact with him on his way down as he tried to pinch the ball and run through it. The referee's given the foul. I have to say, I disagree with that decision, as Scales heads it out of defence as Sturm go long, and it will be a Celtic throw over on the far side now. Celtic creating chances, at least, which is a positive for Brendan Rodgers. Just haven't been able to take them. They have given up a couple at the other end as well, and of course trail to that quite stunning strike from Tommy Horvat. It's a Celtic free kick in their own half. 4 minutes to the break plus stoppages. And incidentally, if you're just joining us live on Sportsline on Sounds and on BBC Radio Scotland, Celtic have lost Iheanacho and Alistair Johnston in this first half to injury.
Yeah, listen, you don't mind, you know, it can happen. You can lose a goal for an unbelievable strike like that out of nothing, but it wasn't out of nothing because Celtic had good possession of the ball and give it away.
And Engels asking a lot of Nygren there. Lavallee's come across and done his job effectively to shield it out for a goal kick. First ever meeting between these sides here tonight. Celtic last up against Austrian opposition against RB Salzburg in this competition in 18-19 and 14-15 seasons. Didn't win any of those games. A poor record against Austrian opposition. Won just 2 of 12. Losing tonight. Still time though as we tick towards half-time. Header by Donovan. Chukwuani's going to try and let this run out. Celtic get a boot on it. Throw into Sturm. Just around halfway. Karic is ready to take. And it is Karic to throw down the line. Header off the back of Malone and breaks for Donovan. He's played it behind for Kenny. Flag stays down for now. He's at the corner of the box. Doesn't have much support as yet. Kenny Jinkin gets the strike away and the goalkeeper has to make the save. Did well to get it on target from the angle. Johnny Kenny. Here he is. Kenny playing it off Karic. Tried to get round him and then Karic has won the throw off Hatate.
Yeah, similar to the last time. Down the channel, getting away and getting in, but cutting in even a tighter angle this time. But I don't think he had very many options. He's looking up, trying to see who's up and supportive. Nobody was there apart from I think it might have been Tunekti was trying to get there but still wasn't in a great position for him to cut it back to, and he takes on the shot and hoping and praying that maybe it might go under the goalkeeper or whatever, but I don't think he was ever going to beat the goalkeeper from that angle.
Yeah, you're requiring a howler from the young goalkeeper who's deputising for Sturm Graz tonight, Matteo Bugnetti, and he was equal to the strike, and it remains Celtic 0, Sturm Graz 1. Just about a minute to the break, well, plus stoppages, a minute left of the 45. Here's Scales, plays it through the air down the left hand side to Tunekti with a lovely touch as it came over his shoulder. He's on the touchline, he's dribbled out of a really tight spot, the Tunisian. Oh, he's done brilliantly. Superb from Tunekti, and Kenny has a stab at it at the near post and can't turn it home. It just will not go in for Celtic in this first half.
Oh, it's a great play from Tunekti down that left hand side, getting the ball into a great position, and there was Johnny Kenny. I'm not sure if he missed it or what happened, but certainly here's drawn the attack again.
And Tierney out to Tunekti. How he got out of that tight spot, I'll never know. Curls the ball in and it's straight to Bugnetti, the keeper.
Yeah, I would love to see that down again, whether Johnny Kenny missed it and maybe went with the wrong foot. I'm not sure. Is James McFadden in the studio? I think he is he?
I believe so.
He might be seeing it.
Yeah, he just went with the toe because he was on the stretch, Johnny Kenny, just trying to prod it into the bottom corner. I don't know if the ball actually rolled kind of over the top of his foot because it was flat to the surface. Just trying to toe poke it into the bottom corner. I don't know if he missed it completely or whether it just rolled over his foot. Either way, another chance goes a begging for Celtic to try and get back on level terms. We're going to play 2 added minutes at the end of this first half, and Celtic come forward here, and it was Kenny who was carrying it and he was dispossessed. McGregor wins it back. Donovan back to McGregor in the centre circle. McGregor to Tierney. Tierney to Tunekti. A man who looks likely to make something happen for Celtic into Hatate, returns it to Tunekti, by line, chipped cross, headed by Lavallee, bounces in the box and it's smashed clear by the goal scorer Horvat. Scales first time back to Tierney, just keeps it in. Tierney with a bouncing ball, it's awkward, he's done well. Tierney heads it to Tunekti, but Stankovic there to win it for Sturm, clears. Celtic have it back straight away.
I've got to say Celtic haven't played that badly in this half. They've created lots of chances just around the edge, just that final ball. Amazing what a goal can do. They find themselves a goal down, which is very unfortunate, I think, and I don't think they deserve to be a goal down, but certainly they have to work really, really hard to put the ball in the back of the net.
Yeah, they have been improved, no doubt, from Sunday, Celtic, but still a goal down and struggling to score. Scales to Tenekti keeps running and running and running, checks back and gives it to Tierney. Waits for the run from Kenny on the far side of the box. Kenny up against Iwu. If it's a sliding challenge in, it will be a Celtic throw on the far side. Iwu is pleading his case that it's a Sturm throw in, but the referee disagrees. And we've played just about the 2 added minutes at the end of this first half, so this will probably be the last play. Can Celtic find the equaliser? Throw to Hatate, controls it on the thigh, but he's shrugged off the ball, and Stankovic clears it off. Hatate, throw in, and there is the half-time whistle. Well, still plenty of time left for Celtic to revive this situation, but it feels like when it rains it pours at the moment at Celtic Park. They've lost 2 players to injury in the opening half. Iheanacho and Alistair Johnson going off in the opening 23 minutes, and in between those 2 unfortunate incidents, Tommy Horvath smashed in an absolute beauty into the top corner to give Sturm Graz the lead. Celtic have had a lot of chances, in fairness. Nygren with a gilt-edged one which he headed wide. Engels had one cleared off the line. He had another good opportunity which was deflected just wide of the post. Kenny's had a couple of chances snuffed out, and it just will not go in. In fairness, Sturm have also hit the post through Kitishvili, and Iwu put one over the top from a set piece which he should have buried. It's been a really entertaining game, but the upshot is Celtic still struggling to score goals. And at the break in the Europa League Matchday 3, it is Celtic 0, Sturm Graz 1.
Celtic versus Sturm Graz
in the Europa League,
live on Sports Sound
on BBC Radio Scotland. She flew across the world for her sister's wedding.
We didn't think you were coming.
Surprise! But ended up at her funeral.
I'm questioning how and why she fell.
In a community full of secrets, Mia wants answers.
So the policewoman's married to the Undertaker?
Yeah.
And the policewoman who doesn't want a post-mortem is the half-sister to the fiancé that was the last person to see my sister alive.
That about sums it up.
How far would you go for family?
Do you know what happened to her up there?
I don't.
Then we have to find out.
The Ridge. Watch all episodes now on BBC iPlayer.
You're listening to European Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland with me, Kenny McIntyre, Billy Dodds and James McFadden alongside me in the studio. Our third commentary of the evening. Not a good night so far for Scottish sides. Rangers going down 3-0 away to Brann. Aberdeen 6-0 defeat for them in Greece against AEK Athens, and it's been a disappointing, certainly scoreline. Perhaps the performance hasn't really reflected that from Celtic in the first period at Celtic Park. Celtic 0, Sturm Graz 1. So, Billy Dawes, your thoughts on that first half?
Disappointing in spells for Celtic. They have created chances. I can't say Faddy and I have been watching it, they've played their best, seem to be lacking a little bit of confidence, but they have created, and at times they've got in behind, especially Tenekti, who looks a live wire again. Faddy doesn't he? And then, but when he gets in, and sometimes Tierney's getting as well, he's fired a couple across, and what a couple was the cutback to start with, but the players were in waiting for the straight pass to try and tap it into the net. And then when he gets in again the next time, the players are in, they stay out this time for the cutback, and he fires it straight across. So it's a bit of both happening for Celtic at the just the crucial times. Kenny's had a shot, Nygren with a header as well, cleared off the line. Kenny missed a contact when they get in behind again with another cross. They can't say they've not had service, James, but Sturm Graz could have scored a couple of goals as well. They got one, which was a brilliant strike. Tierney was slack, gives the ball away in the middle of the park, and they just go forward 2 passes, and then they just bang it right in the top corner. Horban, what a strike it was. And then they hit the post after it. So all in all, disappointing so far, because it's another Scottish team who haven't scored, and they're down a goal, but they have had their moments. Celtic,
they have. I think that disruption of Iheanacho going off early, certainly Johnny Kenny's come on and he's had a couple of half chances, and then Alistair Johnson, a huge blow. Great to see him back in the side. to see him go off what looks like hamstring again is a huge blow. But I think, Dodge is right. I think that Celtic have got in really good areas, and it's maybe just that final pass, and whether it's a decision of the cross or the run, they're just no getting that right. But it might be a case of getting in and saying, look, there's enough there to suggest if you keep getting in those areas, can you keep flash the crosses across, and maybe you'll get a bit of luck. So they have had opportunities, but it's still 1-0. They're still down, and that's it still needs to be improvement for me. I agree with you, Billy. I think Tenekte, when he's up high and getting 1v1 and even 1v2, he can deal with that no problem. He can cause problems because he likes to drive into the box. He likes to commit defenders. Sometimes he was coming a bit deep earlier in the game, and that would have been a delight for Sturm Graz because he is causing all sorts of problems when he gets on the ball and around the box.
James and Billy will be with me right through until 11 o'clock here on BBC Radio Scotland. Some fans will join us between 10 and 11, and what we'll do, we'll bring you the post-match media conferences. Obviously Brendan Rodgers, Jimmy Tleen and Danny Rule. Obviously we'll hear from him, his first match in charge of Rangers tonight. Just on that, we also get the chance to speak to some of the players. It was called the Mix Zone after the game. Just seen some very strong comments from James Tavernier. The worst performance in his time at the club, according to James Tavernier. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be strong. I say we'll get some fan reaction later in the programme. That's really important to get that. Speaking of the fans, Pat, we're obviously back here in the studio. What's the reception been like there towards the end of the half at Celtic Park? It's been a strange night, quite a good first half performance.
Yeah.
But Celtic find themselves behind.
Yeah, no, I think they're behind the team still. Obviously they're a goal down. That's frustration. They were very frustrated at times when Celtic got into really good positions, and they kind of almost hesitated. There was an opportunity to have a few strikes at goal from the edge of the box, and they elected to take a touch or an extra pass, and the fans were up on edge. The one where Alistair Johnson actually got injured, I don't know whether Hatate realised that he was injured at that point, but he was in a great position to drive forward, and he elects to turn back and pass the ball back to Alistair Johnson, and then he goes down, and the fans were really, really annoyed with that. Now, obviously, then they had to consider that Alistair Johnson was injured, and that took the heat out of it. But that's the kind of frustration only from the fans at times. But I think in the main, they've been they'll be much more happy with the way that Celtic have actually played. Just putting that, how a team needs a goal, it's incredible. I was going to ask James, just on that chance for Johnny Kenny, did he miss it, or did he not make what happened for that one across the post? We can't see from where we are because there was a defender himself running towards that post.
Yeah, I think he did miss it. I don't know if because Tenekte goes down the outside, chops back onto his right. I don't know, I need to see it again whether, because we've only had one replay, whether he makes the run expecting the cross with the right foot, then he checks with his back onto his left and flashes it across. He does make that run across the near post. He's well marshalled, I have to say, by the defender, and I think he does just miss it. I don't know how much he could get on it to trouble the goalkeeper, right. But it does look like he just misses it and can't quite get the contact on it, but he's alert. He anticipates that's where it's going. He just can't quite get the contact.
Yeah, because obviously I come back again to players have left the club. Kyogo, that's where he made his trademark, wasn't he, when they came to the club first, getting across the defender, getting on that near post, and that makes up the mind of the player on the ball, and that's missing. I see that's kind of almost missing at the moment. The player on the ball, they don't know what to do. You described it really well. 1 minute as a cutback, players in the wrong position. Next one's driven across, players waiting for a cutback. So whatever relationship they have, it's just not working among the players at the moment in that vital area inside the box.
They can't get in sync a couple of times, Pat. Do you feel that way? They'll get in behind and they've cut it back, and the players have gone in just to tap it in, as I said. And then the next time, the players have stayed out, think they're going to cut it back, and they flash it across. So it's just maybe getting one in and one stay out, and then I think they'll get a finish at some point.
Yeah, for sure they have to stay what they're doing at this moment in time. If they drop off anything at all, this team can hurt them. But I think this team, if they lose a goal, they could be vulnerable. But Celtic just put the ball in the back of the net, changes the game.
Yeah, just watching replays of Iheanacho, Pat, very frustrated, as you'd expect, and also Alistair Johnson, as Faddy said there, pulling up. That doesn't look good, but the lack of options.
Just on Iheanacho, it was right from the very, very first whistle. The ball's played down the channel.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether he went to sprint and he pulled it at that point, but he didn't run properly, and then he didn't close down properly.
He didn't chase it down, Pat, did he? Because
absolutely.
when he put it inside, put it behind the defenders, run towards his own goal, and I was actually thinking, why is he trying to put him under a bit of pressure?
Yeah. Absolutely. I was going to say that myself, but it was so early in the game. You say now, well, okay, maybe he's just thinking about trying to get into the game, but he was gone at that stage, and that was the very first run he made.
It's a body blow, Kenny, because obviously, especially for tonight, but it doesn't look as if they'll be making Sunday either.
No, and that is a huge blow. That game on Sunday, full coverage in sports. I think none of us can wait for that one to happen at Tynecastle. Hearts against Celtic, James. But it just shows you just how few options the manager has up the top of the park right now.
Yeah, it does. I mean, we've spoken about the recruitment this summer. And the fact that that they are short in the attacking areas. Negrin's playing in the right. That's the first one. Then Iheanacho needs to come off, and it's only Kenny that can come on. So look, it is a worry for Celtic. I think it was always going to be the case. When Adamida goes, add to the fact Kyogo had gone in January and hadn't been replaced. I know Shin's come in. I don't know where he is. I know he maybe not been the European squad. I don't mean just tonight. I just mean in general. But they've not replaced Kyogo for a start. Then you go into the season signing Iheanacho, who's not up to speed, and the reliance is then on him, solely on him to be fit. He can't play every game, so he's had to go off early tonight. As Pat said, it's not even like I was watching it. I never noticed any incident where something went. It was just in that same movement where I'm thinking, you can press this, you can go and chase, and it didn't look like he was limping or struggling. It just looked like he didn't want to chase it, but then clearly he's got an issue. So it is a worry. It is a worry for Celtic. It was always going to be a worry because they've left themselves short.
Yeah, James, they've got three centre-halves, three full-backs and two centre-halves and a goalkeeper on the bench. Yes, they needed a full-back. They've got one striker.
Pat, how concerned are you right now with the situation at Celtic, both on and off the park? There just nothing seems to be in sync right now.
No, it's not happening for them, and they've worked really hard to get through this period. We talked about it before the game, and it is a worrying time. Tonight is a must-win. Now they're a goal behind. Now they're hoping to at least get back into the game early on and try to win it. But if it longer goes on, they'll take a draw. But that's not good enough. That's not good enough at the moment, and they've got these games coming up now. Huge, absolutely huge for them, and the season's getting into a real critical point, and it's only early in the season for Celtic. It's amazing how it's all turned around and all gone pear-shaped for them. All from, yes, a bad window, you've got to say, a really bad window, and then all of course the fans aren't happy there, and that's affecting the morale of everybody around the place, and I don't know how they're going to fix it now, to be perfectly honest, because now they've lost two key players. Maeda's injured also. They don't have a lot on the bench to go to in that critical situation, so everybody's got to hang in there as well as they can and try somehow to get. I know, listen, we've all been there before, in jobs that we've been in where you haven't been winning games, and one result can turn around, a couple of goals can turn things around and build up the confidence, but hard work, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, we'll hear from Brendan Rodgers post-match. He had plenty to say, of course, yesterday. He stood by his comments, the comparison with the Honda Civic and the Ferrari. That certainly drew criticism from former Celtic manager Martin O'Neill, but Brendan Rodgers wasn't for backing down. But it'll be interesting to get the reaction from the Celtic fan that will join us later on. But surely the Celtic manager has got to be doing a whole lot better right now, Bill. He's spoken a lot about, he said this countless times, this is what I've got. It's up to me to make the players better, the situation better. The first half here has been okay. There's not an awful lot of evidence to suggest that they are on track for improvement.
I think in this game they're doing what they can. I think but it never rains but it pours, because 1 minute Brendan's saying about just move on, I've got what I've got, then he throws out the Honda Civic quote, then they go another goal down tonight, and he said that against opposition like Dundee, when I think he should be waiting to European games if he's going to use the Honda Civic, and that's without worrying what his players think. And then on top of that, Maeda looks out Johnson and Iniacho, so the problems are mounting, so it's not going to get better until he gets players back. But first and foremost, short term, he's got to get a win soon and get them going again.
Yeah, listen, Scottish football needs a win. We'll discuss this in the programme on Saturday, no doubt at all about that. But Rangers will hear from Danny Rule later in the programme. Say strong comments from the Rangers captain James Tavernier after their 3-0 defeat in Norway, a 6-0 defeat for the Dons away at AEK Athens. So plenty for us to reflect on, and plenty for Celtic to do in this second half if they're to get themselves back into this huge European game for Brendan Rodgers' side. A reminder, we're on air right through until 11 o'clock on BBC Radio Scotland. Managerial reaction and some fans will join us. James McFadden and Billy Dodds will stay on for that. So back to our commentary team at Celtic Park. Celtic against Sturm Graz in the Europa League with Pat Bonnet and Thomas Duncan.
Thanks, Kenny. Celtic back out. Sturm Graz still to emerge from the dressing room as they aim to become the first side since Barcelona in 2007-2008 to beat both of the old firm in the same season in Europe. Not many get the chance to do it, of course, but Sturm do in this campaign. Already dispatched Rangers 2-1 in Graz, 1-0 up at the break here at Celtic Park as they now come back out onto the pitch and try and finish the job. No changes from either side, it looks like. Oh no, there is going to be a change in fact. For at right back for Sturm Graz, Jalen Mitchell is going to come on, and it's going to be Tim Uhrmann, the right back, as I said, to go off. So, as I said, he is more naturally a centre-back, been playing at right back. German under-21 international, played in the Euros final against England over the summer. He's off. And Jalen Mitchell, signed in the summer there, made his debut against Rangers. He's on loan from Feyenoord, so he's on. Sturm make the one change. Celtic, of course, forced into the two changes before the break. Johnston injured, Donovan on, Iheanacho injured, and Johnny Kenny on as Iwo slides in, hits off Engels, breaks for Rio Tati, lovely touch on, he smashed it over the bar. Brilliant chance.
What a chance. Comes on, flicks it over the defender onto his left foot from about 18 yards out, just on the edge of the penalty box. He volleys it, and it's just gone a foot or so over the crossbar. It would have been a wonderful start for Celtic.
It was a really clever touch inside the defender, first of all, when I thought he was maybe initially going to pull the trigger, and then it just fell for him to hit, and he just couldn't keep it down. Rio Hatate. Chance for Celtic in the opening 25 seconds of the second half. Sturm playing it out from the back. Kidishvili first time around the corner. Tierney will mop that up though. Then Taneke. It's loose in field. Sturm usher it out for a throw in. Tierney launches it back to Liam Scales. And Carter Vickers. Celtic lose here tonight. The Europa League campaign becomes, well, very much incredibly difficult to go to Midtjylland and then Feyenoord and then Roma here at Celtic Park as Sturm come forward and Roscoe goes down, and that looked like a good challenge from Callum McGregor. Got the toe in. I thought he got the ball, but
I think initially I thought it was a foul, but the referee let it go on. He tried to pull him back, and then eventually it was a good tackle, as you rightly say, Thomas, from Callum McGregor, but I just think he gave the benefit of doubt to the player from the initial one.
Well, we know Tommy Horvat's capable from here as he lines up the free kick now. It's out towards the left corner of the box, about 10 yards, 25, 26 yards out, and he's going to cross it, I think, to the back post. No, he bends it into towards the near post, and it's actually a good save from Schmeichel. Had to get across quickly and touch it around the post.
He obviously seen a gap, just bent it around the wall to the near post, and Schmeichel had to make the save. I don't know whether the wall was set up properly, but normally you wouldn't be able to bend it that easily around the wall.
He wrapped his left foot around it, went round the outside of the wall. Corner for Sturm Graz. Outswinger and a header from Stankovic. Oh, I thought that was in.
I thought it was in too. I was just going to say, oh my word, it was a ball swung in from the corner and it just sort of almost dipped it. I don't know why the referee is stopping that. It was a quick goal kick again, and he stopped the play. Still he want to get on with the game, but just go back to the header. The header, he's kind of almost stooping down to get a header on it, and it's just kind of looped around Schmeichel, and Schmeichel is almost going the wrong way, and I thought it was in the back of the net, and it just goes nips round the right hand post. Celtic let off.
Celtic with the first chance of the second half, but Sturm Graz coming back with two, and it's kind of been like that in this game, blow for blow, but it's Sturm Graz who managed to take one of theirs, and it wasn't even really a chance, just a long distance shot from Horvat into the top corner after 15 minutes. Here's Liam Scales out to Tinekti. Tierney's made the run, he comes infield, doesn't really have many options near him infield, he has to fire it across the Carter Vickers. Moves it on to Donovan to Nygren.
Yeah, but this is the problem. Nygren playing out on that side there. He has to come on the inside.
On an underhit ball from Hatate to Donovan, and the linesman flag goes up anyway. Sturm Graz get the throw in on the far side after it's cleared out, but yeah, it's frustration for Celtic there. Just the loose passes at the crucial moment as they're building pressure. Hatate guilty that time, and it's Carter Vickers gives it to Donovan, who's going to throw this in now after Sturm Graz couldn't make the most of theirs on the far side as they tried to exit their half. Celtic throw it in down the line, and Nygren's made a good run, and then he hooks it towards the box, and it's gone behind for a goal kick to the visitors.
Yeah, again, obviously not a strong foot, just couldn't play the pass properly. Frustration again for the crowd down that right hand side.
Both these sides, of course, played in the Champions League phase last season. Sturm Graz finished 6 points below Celtic, 30th in the table, just the two wins, also against RB Leipzig as Celtic did, and the other against Bojan Miovski's Girona. As Tierney takes and drives past Horvat, he's not managed to shake him off just yet, and then he fires a low ball into the middle of the pitch at the edge of the box. Sliding challenge from Sturm, and then Iwu clears as far as Donovan. There's Tinekti actually who's back there, and then it's bouncing about, and Sturm Graz pick it up through Karic, gives it to Kitishvili in the centre circle, the Georgian lays it to Chukwani stops and gives it back to Otar Kitishvili, who rattled the outside of the post in the first half as Sturm Graz looked to add to their opening goal. Iwu, they go all the way back to Vignetti, the goalkeeper. Quite a lot of the urgency in their attack is kind of gone since they took the leads. Still look dangerous in flashes. Well, right here it goes to Malone, or towards Malone, but Carter Vickers got in front. Schmeichel, and that was just in front of Otar Kitishvili. That pass found Scales, who moves up towards halfway. Scales curls it to Donovan. Pass is over halfway to Nygren. He's got a bit of space to run here, the Swede. Corner of the area, step over, good challenge. Excellent timing from Karic. And now it's Malone out to Rosgat. Rosgat drops the shoulder and comes infield. Malone beats Scales to the ball, and then his layoff back to Rosgat is intercepted.
You know, that was a time that Nygren just had to slow down because he had Donovan bombing up his outside, and all he do is to slow down and play him in. Instead he tries to beat the player, and it was gone.
Engels edge of the box to Tinekti. Little roll with the studs, takes on his man and tries to stand it to the back post, but floats harmlessly behind for a goal kick. Celtic 0, Sturm Graz 1.
Yeah, it's really frustrating, you know. That would have been a great start if they got that early goal from Hatate, but you know, they're getting into decent positions right and left, just not the execution is not there at the moment. I don't know what's going on now between the referee and the assistant over in that far corner. Both of them are having a deep conversation, something going on.
Yeah, I don't know what that's about over on the far side. In fact, he says the referee has gone across. deep conversation with the far side linesman. The referees are all from Spain tonight. Juan Martin Munuera is the referee. I don't think anyone is sure what's going on.
No, but the players aren't even, you know what I mean? Obviously, I don't know whether the assistant is struggling or whether it's a communication issue, but something definitely has happened.
He's holding his shoulder, though, the linesman. I don't know if he's trying to adjust the comms he's got running from his ear down to his shoulder or whatever, but we'll see. The referee is moved back into the middle and I think is okay to continue. And now the crowd, I think, just getting a bit frustrated, and eventually the referee waves for this goal kick to be taken, and it's long towards Malone. Scales wins the header. Tenekti in the chest as he was going back to goal, bounces about horribly in midfield, and it's picked up by Chukwani, and then Rozga, and out to Horvat, infield to Chukwani, passes behind Keithishvili. He's done so brilliantly to retain that and pass it forward, but eventually Sturm lose it. Here's Tenekti, brilliant away from Chukwani, and then prods the pass, but it's a foul from Rozga on Hatate. Celtic free kick. Tenekti, such a live wire for Celtic on that left hand side. Just maybe needs to learn to.
Yeah, but all the play in the first half was down this left hand side, very little on the right hand side.
Engels, Hatate returns it to Engels, but it's far too far in front, and Hatate keeps trying those kind of little first time passes around the corner, but they're not going to teammates, and now the break is on. It's 2-on-1 in Celtic's favour, and Carter Vickers is able to get in front of Malone yet again and goes back to Schmeichel.
Yeah, and it was a great opportunity there for Rozga, the young lad, 19. He broke away from Carter, or from McGregor in the middle of the pitch. It almost was a 2v1 situation, and he just hit the pass too early, and Carter Vickers was able to deal with it.
McGregor to Tierney in central midfield, out to Tenekti. Hatate now. Tierney back out to Tenekti, up against Mitchell. Tenekti inside, and Mitchell has a pull at him there, and gives the pass to Hatate. It's now back with Tenekti via Tierney. Tenekti, this time he's closed down by Horvat. He's won it back and then hooks it back to Tierney. It's like a one-man band there. Sebastian Tenekti didn't get much help, and now Sturm Graz have it. Keithishvili to Horvat, crosses halfway. Malone's the only man in front of him, carries it down the right-hand side, and he goes between Tierney and McGregor. Engel shuts down the space, and it's back to Chukwani, and then off to Karic on the left-hand side. Forward pass is poor, and Carter Vickers fires it to Johnny Kenny. Lays it back to Hatate, who takes on Stankovic, who blatantly pulls him back, and that will be the first yellow card of the evening at Celtic Park for the Sturm Graz captain.
Yeah, professional foul, middle of the pitch, because he knew he was done. Hatate was going to drive forward, and he was out of position, so he takes him down, kills the game.
Yeah, knew what he was doing. Jon Goran Stankovic, 29 years old. He's a Slovenian international. As Carter Vickers was fooled there, but advantage being played to Celtic as he crossed halfway. Scales with a long ball. Nygren's made the one. It's Benjamin Nygren, and again he gets his header all wrong. He just had the goalkeeper to beat, and once again Benjamin Nygren ends up with a good chance, but putting his hands on his head in frustration.
Oh my word, what a great ball from Liam Scales, right through the middle. He's in, and all he's got to do is keep his eye on the ball, play it onto the target, at least make the goalkeeper make a save. I think he's looking for the goalkeeper to come and hit him, and he then just loses sight of the ball, but it was easier to hit the target from that position.
Long from Vignetti. Celtic haven't tested him enough for all their good chances. Off target too many times. Scales heads it forwards. Nygren wins that and gets the return from Engels. Nygren up against Lavalley, gets a foot in and he's dispossessed, and the free kick then goes in Sturm Graz's favour as Nygren is all over the back of the Belgian defender. And Nygren you can tell he's not a winger in those positions because he's not going by his man.
He can't go by the man, he's not that type of player. He's an inside right, a runner into the box, and on occasions he has been in the box today. He's been wanting from a final finish, but when he gets the ball to his feet, That's not his position.
Kitashvili wriggles out of a tight spot there, but he's given it away to Engels. There's going to be a couple of changes coming for Sturm Graz. Sidi Yata and Jakob Peter Hurdle are stripped and ready, but on we go for the moment. Benjamin Nygren on the far side. Takes it infield, gives it to Engels. Engels again trying to return a pass. It was a difficult pass anyway, and he didn't get anywhere near it. Carter Vickers aggressive in the challenge on Malone, too aggressive. Takes him down, and it's a free kick, and it's going to be a yellow card for the Celtic defender.
Yeah, it was a rash tackle, wasn't it? You know, he doesn't even make contact with the ball. You know, and it ends up in the referee's book. And yeah, but Ken Engels picking up a great position. Donovan again, when Nygren gets the ball on the inside, Donovan's making that run down the outside of him, and it's a simple ball for me, but he's so much on his left foot that he can't take it on his right and slide that ball down, so he doesn't actually even see him. And then it goes to Engels, and he tries to pass to Donovan, but it was never on.
So these changes coming now for Sturm Graz, both in attacking areas. Philip Rosga and Maurice Malone are going off. Jakob Peter Hurdle, the Austrian under-19 international, just 18 years old, is on. And Sidi Yata, the Norwegian striker with 5 goals and 14 appearances this season, is also on. Scored in the crucial win against RB Salzburg earlier this season in the Bundesliga for Sturm Graz. So manager Jürgen Sommel just freshening things up in attack for Sturm. We have played 14 minutes of the second half, 59 on the clock, and it is still Celtic 0, Sturm Graz 1, and Celtic really should have scored in this game. They've had a lot of chances. Nygren's had 2 golden chances with his head, unable to either of them on target. Engels had one cleared off the line as well. And Tenekti has misjudged that, and it falls to Jalen Mitchell. Low cross, Tierney blocks it, Horvath cuts it back, Kitashvili at the edge of the box, sends it over the top of the crossbar.
What an effort to try and head a ball, my word.
Yeah, he was caught under that, Tenekti, and that's why he's not a left back. Free kick to Celtic.
But when you go in there, you've got to do your defensive duties.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. At the end of the day, that's part and parcel of the game. It's not all attacking.
Yeah, he certainly didn't keep his eye on it. Free kick to Celtic on the far side. Donovan fouled, and they play it short. Carter Vickers to Engels, and McGregor back to Carter Vickers in their own half. Celtic. Carter Vickers with a switch out to Tierney, just over halfway. Tierney slides it to Tenekti. Tenekti back to Tierney. Tierney is going to go on the outside of Horvath. Step over and stops. And he's just hesitant to put the afterburners on Kieran Tierney. Kieran Tierney of old would have just driven for the byline there.
Yeah, and I thought he had his opposition player beaten, and he's past him, and he just checks back.
Here's Nygren coming in from the right hand side. Back to Hatate. Hatate, side ball to McGregor. Good feet from Callum McGregor. Lays it off to Donovan. Brilliant ball, Nygren, and it's saved by the goalkeeper. Another golden opportunity for Benjamin Nygren, and Beignetti keeps it out.
I don't think the ball's ever going to go in the net for them.
Now it's Donovan as a quick corner, side foot, it's in!
Scales.
Liam Scales scores for Celtic!
Wow.
Finally! Celtic find the back of the net, and it is Liam Scales who has done it. Side-footed, can't finish, and it is Celtic 1, Sturm Graz 1.
Well, just as I said, I'd never go to net. A centre half steps up to do the business, shows the forwards, shows those attackers how it's done. And Nygren had a big chance just before. They take the quick corner, and eventually then Scales does absolutely fantastic to get side foot, guides it into the corner net, and that gives him a real chance now.
Well, the energy in this place changed, but here is Kitashvili. Liam Scales with his second goal of the season, and what a calm finish it was from the Irishman. As Hatate plays it to Tierney, and now can they go on and clinch victory? Celtic, plenty of time left. They really need to win if they want to get themselves up this Europa League table. Just the 1 point so far. They've got a moment finally to build on. Tenekti, one-on-one with Mitchell. Inside, then out to Nekti. He's not got any health at the moment. Stands it up to the back post. Nygren's there on the chest. That looked like a handball for the defender. It's cut back, deflected behind. Corner kick to Celtic. And the Celtic players are appealing for it now.
It looked like it's obviously the referee's pointing to his chest. That it came off the defender's chest, but it just drops behind the defender. Nygren gets it, plays it against him. At one moment it looked as if it was going to be a handball, but the referee called it absolutely. He's standing beside it, but it will be checked, and it's going to be checked, I think.
Yeah, the VAR is Carlos still Ferro Grande.
No, it's not a handball.
Not a handball, according to the officials. So we don't have the monitor in front of us here. I'll trust their judgment for now. Celtic have a corner. It's Engels, in-swinger with the right foot, right on top of the goalkeeper, it's in! Celtic have scored again, and it's Benjamin Nygren this time! He's had chance after chance with that head, and this time he takes one! Celtic have turned it around! Celtic 2, Sturm Graz 1!
Chance after chance after chance after chance, and then he puts it in from a corner. Unbelievable, from almost 4 yards out. Young goalkeeper, I think, is caught flailing. I did say early in the game, didn't I? Put that ball in there, test the goalkeeper, see what he's made of. That ball swung right into the 6-yard box, 3 or 4 yards out, and there was Nygren. Got away from the defender, the goalkeeper. I don't know what he's doing. He comes, he's almost standing and trying to do something. He should have been attacking the ball, but Nygren had the easiest chances to him. He couldn't for sure fail this time. It hits it on the head and goes into the back of the net. But that puts Celtic into a great position now, 2-1. Can they go on and win this game now easy?
Well, this has been a tale of persistence from Celtic tonight, and in particular from Benjamin Nygren. And the fans are going berserk here as they want Sturm Graz to get on with it.
The thing about Nygren, he gets into those positions for a midfielder, that's for sure. Might not have the quality out on the right-hand side, but he certainly never gives up, and he keeps going and going and going, and he gets himself into those positions, and he misses them, but he gets on the end of a very important one this time.
Oh, and Johnny Kenny's won it, and Johnny Kenny has Nygren in front. Oh, Mitchell with a challenge, and the referee's happy with it. I think he did get the ball there.
Yeah, he could have slid him in. Johnny Kenny should have slid him in a wee bit quicker. I think he's tried to control the ball when he shouldn't have. Just put it into the path of Nygren, who's again up beside him running. 5 goals for Benjamin Nygren this season, Celtic's top scorer. And a good pass through for Kenny, and then he's again tried to play in Nygren, but it's a poor one. Yeah, this time he's probably done it too early.
Yeah, he had more time.
He's obviously spooked from the last one where he probably should have done it, and he's tried it this time, but it wasn't on. He was unbalanced when he went to pass the ball. Good game now. The game's heated up. Obviously, Sturm Graz has got to come and try and get a goal. They're capable.
Oh, they have a free kick here on the far side, right on the edge of Celtic's box. Foul there, Kitishvili. So Celtic are 2 goals in 3 minutes to turn the game on its head, but far from out of the woods just yet. It's Horvat takes his strides backwards, and Celtic Park re-energised, but hushed slightly.
I don't like the edge of the box here, I'll tell you. It's on for a cutback. The edge of the box, there's nobody out there.
There's 3 of them. It goes into the box, and Nygren's back again with his head away. There's Kitishvili, scoops it back into the area, and that looked like a foul from Chukwani. It was on Johnny Kenny. Celtic free kick in their own box, and that attack from Sturm comes to an end. Well, at least we've had a couple of goals from a Scottish side in Europe this evening, and with any luck, a victory. But still work to do for Celtic, though they have come from behind. Engels curls it forwards, Lavallee sends it back, Yatta, substitute, battling for it. Donovan clears, comes back, Chukwani flicks on, then Hatate off the top of his head. That was messy. Now it breaks for Stankovic in the Celtic half. Stankovic to Kitishvili, and back to Iwu, the centre back. And Sturm Graz really, I don't want to say they stopped playing after going a goal up, but Celtic have been the dominant side ever since, and you felt that they were looking to drop the tempo, and now Celtic have sucker punched them twice in 3 minutes, and they're got a different question to answer here. Offsides against Peter Hudel.
Yeah, what Celtic can't do now is drop off and allow them to get good possession, control the ball, because Kidishvili, you know, he's a good player getting in between the lines, and he's dangerous. So they've got to keep the momentum up and go and press higher up the pitch. Don't allow them to dictate the game.
Iwu knocks it back to Vignetti, the goalkeeper. Scales underneath it, another offside, this time against Sudi Yata. Celtic will have a free kick just shy of the centre circle. McGregor takes it short to Carter Vickers. Celtic moving towards a first Europa League victory of the season, first European victory overall. And Scales got the scoring underway eventually. Carter Vickers out to Donovan. Donovan back to Carter Vickers and all the way back to Schmeichel. Yata closes down, but rather jogging, and Scales has it now. Scales for McGregor. McGregor to Tierney. Tierney on halfway, up to Tinekti, and that pass has gone out. And Celtic just a bit more hesitant in the last couple of minutes.
Yeah, I think he's, if anything, I would be looking maybe replacing Atati in the middle of the pitch and get a little bit more energy. McCowan maybe in there, and that.
Yeah, Bernardo's back from illness as well on the bench for Celtic. Austin Trusty is also there, not that he's a midfielder, but just missing the last 10 games with an injury. It is Kieran Tierney with a throw-in his own half, goes up the line. Won by Mitchell, heads infield, then Chukwani helps it on with his head. McGregor wins the seconds, then Stankovic, then Kidishvili. Head tennis here in the Celtic half. Scales as it drops, and he's found Hatate, then Tinekti, and that's a lovely return for Hatate, then squeezes it past to Kenny. Oh, it's well read by Lavalley as the pass returned for Hatate, and then Chukwani is... Oh, it's a red card! Chukwani on McGregor, and suddenly luckless Celtic in the first half, everything going their way now.
Yeah, it's one of them where McGregor, the ball drops between the two players. McGregor goes to almost smash it, and Chukwemeni, he almost lifts his foot up to try to block McGregor's strike, and the ball bypasses, and then of course, because your foot is high, you're catching the player. I don't think he's caught him too badly. I think McGregor will be okay, but it's one of these you're dicing what a sending off in that situation, and that's what's happened here.
Well, this is a boon for Celtic as long as Callum McGregor gets to his feet, which he hasn't done just yet. The Celtic captain, who I have to say has put in a really good performance tonight, especially going back the way at times, getting back in and sweeping up when Sturm Graz have looked to break. Celtic taking on the water now, and some instructions from Brendan Rodgers. Kasper Schmeichel's come all the way out his goal, and the Sturm Graz players are just trying to plead the case for Chukwani to the referee, but the decision is made. The VAR will check it. I have to say, I'd followed the ball there, so I didn't really see I just saw at the corner of my eye McGregor going flying, and he is back on his feet. Callum McGregor moving slightly gingerly, but it looks okay.
Yeah, I think he was okay. I think it's one of them where McGregor's gone to smash the ball, and because the player is almost trying to block it, but he doesn't make any contact with the ball, and then he catches McGregor, but his foot's high from that perspective, and that's why he probably was sent off. You would be annoyed yourself probably if he was one of your players maybe getting sent off, but the referee was close by.
Celtic 2-1 up, and now we'll play the last 20, potentially with a man advantage. Sturm Graz down to 10.
Well, Celtic just got to keep that ball moving, and don't delay on it. Just keep the ball moving after first, second passes. They've got an extra man. They should be able to dictate this game now.
Carter Vickers controls, gives it to Colby Donovan. Back to Carter Vickers. Callum McGregor. Out to Colby Donovan on the right hand side. Then Nygren on of two Celtic goal scorers. Into Engels on the corner of the box, controlled well and offloaded now. Low cross. Lavallée is at the near post, hooks it into the night sky and out for a throw-in on the far side.
Young Donovan puts a good ball in from that side, doesn't he? You know, he whoops them in from a very deep angle.
Tierney slides the inside ball for Tenecti to chase it. Oh, he just about got onto it, but Mitchell got the foot in, and then there's a foul from Tenecti as he tried to go after it. Second attempt. And it is Celtic 2, Sturm Graz 1 after 73 minutes. Turnaround in this second half. Scales and Nygren scoring in the space of 3 minutes. Carter Vickers wins that in the air. Nygren down to the feet of McGregor. Offloads to Engels and then out to Tierney. Kieran Tierney. He asked for Tenecti to come short, and then he barrels round and gives it to Scales, then McGregor.
Well, just keep that ball moving a little bit quicker. They're always slowing it down at the back, Celtic, and allowing Sturm Graz players to get into positions. They're a man down. There's plenty of space to exploit if you do it quick.
Tenecti is pulled across right onto the touchline here, asking for the ball. It's going to the other side. Out to Donovan. Donovan to Nygren. First time to Engels, first time back to Donovan. He's got 3 black jerseys round him, but forces the pass away to Carter Vickers. Now Scales. Scales to Tierney. Tierney to Tenecti. Tierney goes in the overlap. Tenecti drives inside. 1-2 with Hatate, then to McGregor. Back to goal, then turns, gives it to Tenecti, and then out to Donovan. Donovan crosses from deep. It's a really high one to the back post, and then it comes off Tierney's head, and it's going to break back for the left back. Tierney to Hatate. Hatate was under pressure, but he's managed to get to the byline. Brilliant from Rio Hatate. Cuts it back, and then McGregor was had his back to goal, and it was an awkward one to take, and Sturm Graz are able to clear downfield. 2-1 to Celtic.
Initially, I think Tati was taken by surprise that he got the ball inside the box, but he did well to get to the byline. Just crowded out. There wasn't somebody to pick out.
Tati gets the pass away under pressure to Donovan, and down the line to Nygren. Nygren to Engels. Nygren again. McGregor. Carter Vickers. Scales to Tierney. Tierney and Tenecti. Here is Tenecti. Tenecti back to Tierney. Flashed across, deflected into the side netting. Corner kick.
Yeah, just believe in it. You know, sometimes when you're a man goal up and an extra man, you can almost want to just keep the ball, but believe that it can go and get another goal here just to settle this game.
Arne Engels goes across. Scored from this near side through Engels' delivery onto the head of Nygren eventually. And it looks like Michel-Ange Balakusha is going to come on for Celtic in a moment. Not quite yet, but he's just emerging from the bench. Engels corner, same place. Nygren goes off on the goalkeeper again. This time the keeper gets a glove on it. Hatate under pressure from Kidishvili, and he's done well there.
Yeah, he does under severe pressure. He did really, really well.
Donovan in the centre circle to Scales. Tenecti is asking for it. It's going to go the other way to Carter Vickers. Carter Vickers to Scales. Now Tenecti, and this time the ball goes. And again, it's a one-on-one situation for the Celtic winger. Oh, he's left the ball behind. Manages to retrieve it. Give it to Tierney. Opportunity to take on his man is gone. No, Hatate leaves that for Engels, and then out to Donovan. It's all the way back. And then to Nygren. Nygren down to Donovan. Donovan low cross. Lavallée again well stationed to deal with that. Passes it out to Karic on the near side, and Sturm Graz are able to clear up the touchline. Celtic 2, Sturm Graz 1. And we've got 14 minutes of the 90 to play. Sturm Graz down to 10.
Yeah, difficult for Sturm Graz now to get any possession, but Celtic just have got to turn the screw here, I think. They're moving the ball quite well. There will be some big up. Oh, it's a chance.
And third goal you think would give them the win that they so crave in this Europa League campaign. Horvat, good feet, and curls it out to Kidishvili. It's forced to turn back by Nygren, and then back to Karic left back, forwards, Horvat between the lines, and he's dancing towards the edge of the box here, and he goes for distance again, and why not, given what he did in the first half, but this one sails into the stands.
Yeah, really clever though, he got into a great position. Obviously Kvaratskhelia moves out onto the left position, and then he takes up his position in that number 10, and he gets in between the lines, and he's a dangerous player. We've seen what he can do in the first half.
Sebastian Tinekti is coming off for Michel Ange-Balikwisha, and Leon Grigic, the Croatia under-21 international, 19 years old, is coming on for Otar Kitishvili for Sturm Graz. So both sides freshening up the attacking players. Tinekti with another good performance. You feel if he can learn and build on his end products, he could be a real player for Celtic.
Yeah, listen, he's the one player that is creative and is a real threat when he gets the ball. Balikwisha now comes into the team, and he's got to do a turn for them. Yeah, I'd seen him stretch in a wee while to Tinekti.
Tierney. Balikwisha's made the run beyond, and Tierney has played the ball. Good defending from Iwu. The centre-back came across, plays it out for a throw-in on this near side. Celtic 2, Sturm Graz 1, live on Sportsound on BBC Sounds and BBC Radio Scotland. After defeats for Rangers and Aberdeen earlier tonight, and offsides against Balikwisha. Sturm Graz free kick. 11 and a half minutes of the normal 90 minutes remaining. We'll get stoppages, of course, and Celtic, what a win it would be, morale booster, first in the Europa League, would take them on to 4 points and push them up the table and build some much needed momentum for the visit to Tynecastle on Sunday, which of course is live right here on Sportsound. Huge game in the Premiership. Donovan crosses halfway, overhit pass as Nygren ran across, out for a Sturm Graz throw-in. Celtic could just get a third goal, this arena would breathe a lot easier.
Yeah, a third goal would settle things for them, but they still should be in a position here with about 10, 12, maybe 13 minutes. There will be a bit of because the referee and the linesman got into a big conversation about something, so that was a delay also, and then with the substitution, so there will be extra time.
Well, Horvat's touch as Sturm break, he's still going, little nutmeg. Such a clever player, and then Balikwisha gets back, and that's a brilliant challenge. Got the shoulder in, but crucially the right boot as well to take it off Horvat's toes as he threatened to unlock the Celtic defence. Hatate away from the Slovenian.
Yeah, it was good tracking from Balikwisha there, because Horvat had to pass on out to the left-hand side for the substitution in order to come on the pitch, and he was free, and he just delayed a little bit too long on it, and Balikwisha got in with a vital interception.
Liam Scales to Hatate to Carter Vickers, out to Colby Donovan, and then Nygren infield to Engels and McGregor back out to Engels has got space to cross from deep, he sends it in, brilliant ball, and Kenny puts it over the top on the stretch.
Oh my word, sorry Thomas there, it was another great ball in, wasn't it, from Engels, and Johnny Kenny, just, you can see his eyes lighting up, but he's just got to make better contact. He's sliding a little bit, but I think he's got to hit the target from there.
Really good delivery from Arne Engels, and the quality of some of Celtic's crosses has been much improved from the weekend. Tierney carries forward, infield to Hatate, now McGregor back to Tierney, space to cross, curls one in, header over the top this time from Kenny. He's making the runs, just not finding the end product at the moment.
Yeah, it was a good run, it was just slightly, he had to get beyond the defender and just get a clear header, and he just slightly off balance, but the run was good, cross defender.
Change for Sturm Graz, Tommy Horvat's work is done, and Axel Kayombo, the Democratic Republic of Congo player, is on for the Sturm Graz debut off the bench. He's a winger come striker, so attacking stuff from Jurgen Sommel. Side down to 10 men after Chikwane's red card on 70 minutes. but they're chasing an equaliser here at Celtic Park with 8 minutes to play plus stoppage time, and they're throwing down the line here for Kayumbo, and he's got 3 Celtic players on him, manages to get the pass away to Karic, and now it's Hodel and Stankovic passes it out to Jalen Mitchell, and Tierney blocks his pass, throw into Sturm just in front of us here, Celtic Park in the main stands, and the Austrian champions not going away just yet.
No, long throw coming up.
Celtic really struggled from this situation against Dundee at the weekend, and they learned their lessons. Flat throw, it's a poor throw. Johnny Kenny heads it up into the sky, then off the back of Hatate's head, and then Kenny's clearance almost found Balikwisha, curled into the box, up from Yatta, down and away from Donovan, but it's picked up again by the visitors. It's on the edge of the box, foot in from McGregor. Flag goes up on this near side, offside. Celtic breathe a little easier, and Kieran Tierney applauds the near side linesman for that decision.
Yeah, and, they can play it here out this left hand side. They've got to keep going, guys. They put a lot of work into this game, moving the ball, but that's part and parcel of playing at this level. You've got to keep your concentrations, work hard.
Celtic 4 without a win in Europe this season. Are they about to end that run? Rio Hatate drives forward up the left. Balikwisha back to Hatate, and he has won the corner off Iwood.
Yeah, better just drive into the byline this time. Hatate, he looks tired man though.
Yeah.
I just wonder whether Brendan Rodgers will go to the bench again. He hasn't made any indication that he will do that.
Yeah, that was a heavy sigh from Hatate, pecking after the shift he's put in. He's still on the far, and it's going to be Celtic corner again from this near side. Arne Engels to deliver with the right boot. McGregor's coming across to offer the short option, but then decides better of it, and Engels puts the right arm up, strikes it with the right foot in on top of the goalkeeper. Oh, how's that gone over the top? Oh, it could have gone anywhere. I think it took a deflection of a Sturm Graz player. It's going to be another corner, and somehow it goes over the top of their crossbar.
I don't even think that Negron got a touch on it this time. Just the defenders and the goalkeeper all over the place. Just put it back in there again. Don't need to go short. Just put it into that danger area. You've got a goal from it. You've seen 2 or 3 real opportunities from it.
It is Arne Engels again. Only one place this is going, the crowded 6-yard box. Here he comes, the Belgian. Sends it in, flat ball. This time it's headed away by Karic at the front post. McGregor back to Donovan in the centre circle, then back to McGregor, the Celtic captain. Up to Scales, back to McGregor. Engels, and he's back to Carter Vickers first time. Carter Vickers across the back line to Hatate. Hatate carries infield, goes back to Carter Vickers, who doesn't have much option, wants to go back to Schmeichel, who looked like he was going to thump that long, but picks out Scales, and then...
I don't get that. I don't get that. He could have played that ball down the line here. They're just trying to keep... And now they've given away a free kick out in this right-hand side. I think it's a free kick he's given.
Yeah.
Puts added pressure on them.
It's right on the touchline, and it's about 25 yards from goal. On this near side, opportunity for Sturm Graz, the 10 men of Sturm Graz. We've almost hit 86 minutes at Celtic Park. It is Celtic 2, Sturm Graz 1, and Matchday 3 of the Europa League. Well, Karic has stolen about 10 yards of that free kick in field. I mean, the foul was right on the touchline. Ridiculous from the fullback, and he's quickly given his orders to retreat. And here he is. He's going to bend this in with a left foot. And into that uncertain corridor. Oh, he sends it to the back post. It's a floater. Oh, brilliant header from Scales. Then Hatate collects edge of the box. Was he brought down there? No, he brought down the Sturm Graz player, who was Lavallee. Another opportunity for the visitors here from the edge of the box.
This is a better position. It's about between just probably about 5 yards in from the corner flag, about 4 or 5 yards outside. Plenty of distance to get up on this. Up and down. I think it'll be crossing even. I'm looking at a back post here where they've got 2-3 big players, and it's Engels is picking up Tierney's picking up the back post. Scales is in the wall. I'm not sure if your best header should be in the wall at that point in time.
Yeah, Kitishvili and Tommy Horvat have gone off, so it's fresh taker. It is Grigic, and he goes for the strike, and it's well over the top. That's a waste.
That's a waste. I'm not sure. I think that the better ball would have been played to the back post. They've got 2-3 players, big players up, and Celtic are struggling. They don't have a lot of height in the team, and they put Scales into the wall, but he's gone for goal. Bad decision for them. Good decision for Celtic.
They were queuing up, and Jalen Mitchell was one of them at the back post, and he's certainly telling Leon Grigic what he thinks of that decision to go for the strike. Schmeichel goes long. Stankovic wins the header. Scales back pedals, not his best header, but Donovan gets onto it, hits off of Kayombo. It's a Celtic free kick. Donovan was clattered into there, and we have 2 minutes left plus stoppage time at Celtic Park. Celtic have turned this game around in the second half.
I think stoppage time will be about 6 minutes. That's my prediction.
I'll hold you to that, Packy, in a few moments. It's passed back to Carter Vickers under a bit of pressure. He's done well to float it over the top. I think Donovan thinks he's offside, so he's left it here. Kayombo has to play it out. He's hit off Negrin, and it breaks for Donovan. Cross is deflected. Johnny Kenny blocked and into the goalkeeper's arms. Excellent challenge from Iwu.
Yeah, good challenge. Just couldn't get it under control. Again, just a wee bit more sharpness.
Johnny Kenny's had a lot of chances for Celtic today, but I've liked his performance in terms of getting into the positions and his energy.
Well, he's just come into the team, and he needs a few games to maybe sharpen up and get the opportunity. He will have to play now out of Strum over the next couple of games.
Yeah, Iheanacho going off after just a couple of minutes with a muscle injury. Scales out to Tierney on the halfway line. Hatate, short pass, then Balakwisha. He's got space here. Balakwisha, he's running at the centre half. Balakwisha comes in on the right foot. It's Balakwisha! Oh, he's bent it just wide. Tried to curl it into the top corner, wide of the target. 2-1 it remains.
Yeah, did you really think he was going to hit that target? He's come in a great position, but just didn't get enough accuracy and whip on that ball. Just knocks it wide. Could have killed the game off there. They got all the pressure off Celtic.
We're in the 90th minute. Long from Vignetti. And that's Yatta underneath it. Did enough to distract Tierney, and it breaks for Hurdle. Jinks in field here, the youngster, and then tried to slide the pass in. Crucial interception, comes back to him. Gets onto the right foot, still going into the Celtic box. Low cross, brilliant challenge from Hatate. Eventually to block the cross, and it's gone for throw-in right next to the corner flag on this near side.
Yeah, it's going to be another long throw into the box. The last one, he never got it really past the first player, and it was easily cleared by Johnny Kenny. But again, concentration levels have got to be a maximum.
Mitchell flings it into the area. Stankovic is up off the top of his head, bounces at the back post. Lavalley with the touch, takes it down on the thigh, cuts it back, curled by Karic on top of Schmeichel, who gathers it with both gloves, and the near side linesman has put the flag up anyway. We're going to have 5 added minutes at the end of this game. You're 1 out, Packy.
I'm 1 out. It wasn't far away. I'll take 5 though. I'll be very happy with 5.
Celtic 2, Sturm Graz 1. Celtic heading for a first win in the Europa League this season, in European football this season, and they're going to avoid back-to-back defeats. Hasn't happened to them, astonishingly, since 2021, when Ange Postecoglou was not long in the door. Lost to AZ Alkmaar and to Rangers. Of course, went on to win the league that season anyway, but Celtic on course for victory here after defeat at Dens. Oh, that's not the best from Scales, but luckily Carter Vickers was there to mop up. Yeah. And McGregor heads it forward. Kenny flicks on, but there's no one there. Iwu lumps it forward. I get the feeling it's going to be a nervous last 4 minutes for Celtic. They do have a man advantage, and Kenny's won it again, but illegally according to the referee. The Celtic fans are raging with that decision.
Yeah, and all the big guys are coming up. You see the bench here shouting to them to get up. Every single one of them. and now Celtic have just got to defend this long goal kick almost from the halfway line.
They're going to throw the kitchen sink at it. Karic, it's a bit of a floater. Mitchell's dropped deep to flick it on though. Tierney's underneath it, it's come off his head. And Stankovic is going to try and earn the corner. It's a brilliant challenge initially from Scales, but it's ended up not preventing the corner, and as he hurt himself in the process there, now he's down, and Stankovic is trying to get him to his feet, and the Celtic fans are unhappy with that. And it's all getting heated, but it's quickly calmed, and Scales gets to his feet and walks that one off. It's going to be a corner to Sturm Graz though in stoppage time. We've played 2 of the 5 added minutes, and it's the 10 men of Sturm Graz who are knocking on the door here. Celtic just need to see this out. Hurdle hoists it in. Schmeichel hesitates, header, it drops, and it's cleared. And there's a foul in the 6-yard box. And Celtic get the free kick.
Yeah, Schmeichel's got to come and punch that. The ball's dropping 5 yards out. He comes in, he hesitates, and he stays on his line and hoping that his defenders are going to deal with it. And the 2 Celtic players down. Obviously Scales from the initial one, and I'm not too sure who the other one is.
It's the walking wounded for Celtic out there. They've lost 2 players. McGregor took a sore one earlier. Scales is limping about, and they might go to Tynecastle with a spring in their step and a momentum, but we'll see how many line up. Gorgie comes Sunday lunchtime. What a huge game that is. Celtic still with work to do here though. They've played 3 of 5 added minutes. They lead the 10 men of Sturm Graz by 2-1. Schmeichel fires it long from that free kick. Header one at the back by Sturm Graz. Hurdle has it. Oh, he takes on the man, goes down the line, and then Kenny is back battling, and he's actually won the throw-in as well there.
Yeah, good play from young Johnny Kenny, lending himself to the team, getting back from the centre forward position all the way back almost into the right back position.
Throw into Celtic in their own half. It's 19-year-old Colby Donovan, who came on after 23 minutes to replace Alistair Johnston. How long will he be out for after making his return tonight after 10 games on the sidelines? We don't know. Breaks into midfield and Carter Vickers mops up. Tierney's found Hatate in the centre circle, and the midfielder drives forward. He's got Balikwisha in front, finds Balikwisha left hand side of the box. Balikwisha, low ball, Kenny with a touch, Kenny with a strike straight at the goalkeeper.
Yeah, I thought Balikwisha probably was going to take that into the corner and just kill time, but he obviously felt that he could create something, which he did, and Johnny Kenny turning in the box, take it in the corner this time, young man. That's it.
Scales wins it again into Hatate, and Hatate has found Balikwisha again. And here he goes, and he's not interested. He back heels it this time to Hatate. I thought he was going to whip it in, and Hatate's holding it in the corner here. And back to Balikwisha, then McGregor. Balikwisha this time hits off Stankovic, and then Balikwisha gives away the free kick. He'd have been as well, just hoisting it into the box there.
I don't think they know how to take it into the corner and deal with it and get something out of it. It's against their philosophy, I'm sure.
Well, this, by my reckoning, is probably last play here at Celtic Park. And the goalkeeper for Sturm Graz launches it long. Carter Vickers is beaten in the air, it goes through, it's chased, but Kayumbo can't get there ahead of Schmeichel, who slides and collects the ball. And that may be that. It is that. Celtic have won. They've bounced back from defeat at Dens. They've bounced back from a luckless first half where they lost Iheanacho and Johnson to injury and fell behind to a screamer from Tommy Horvath. And in the second half, produced a rousing comeback. 2 goals in 3 minutes. Liam Scales, after a quick corner, stroked into the bottom corner, and Negrin, having missed 3 good chances with his head, couldn't miss for the 4th time with asking from point blank range after Engels' corner. They were helped by Chukwani's rash challenge on McGregor, which ended in his sending off on 70 minutes. So Sturm Graz played the last 25 with 10 men. Celtic had further chances to increase their lead, couldn't take them. But in the end, it did not matter. They are up and running in the Europa League. Their first 3 points on the board, and they can move on to a massive game at Tynecastle with some much-needed confidence and momentum. Full time at Celtic Park. Match day 3 in the Europa League. It finished Celtic 2, Sturm Graz 1.